Germany is gearing up for snap federal elections on February 23, 2025, following the collapse of Chancellor Olaf Scholz's coalition government. The political landscape is marked by intense debates on various issues, with migration policy being a central theme. Here's an overview of the main campaign points of the major German parties and a detailed look at their migration policies, particularly concerning Filipino migrants. Let's start with the Christian Democratic Union and Christian Social Union. The CDU's main campaign points include: first, economic revitalization, particularly through advocating for pro-business policies to stimulate economic growth. Second, fiscal conservatism, which involves emphasizing adherence to the Schuldenbremse, also known as the debt brake law, and aiming for balanced budgets. Last is security enhancement, which they aim to achieve by proposing measures to strengthen national security and public safety. Now let's talk about their migration policies. The CDU-CSU, under the leadership of Friedrich Merz, has adopted a stringent stance on migration. Summarized, their migration policy touches on border control. Specifically, they have plans to implement quasi-permanent border controls to curb illegal immigration. They also intend to enforce asylum restrictions. They will strongly reject asylum seekers without valid entry documents directly at the border. Deportations. The CDU-CSU also aims to expedite the deportation process for individuals without legal residency status. What do these policies imply for Filipino migrants? While the CDU-CSU's policies are primarily focused on curbing illegal immigration and tightening asylum procedures, skilled migrants from countries like the Philippines may still find opportunities, especially if they possess qualifications in demand within Germany. However, the overall stricter immigration environment could lead to more rigorous application processes and heightened scrutiny. Now let's learn more about the SPD or Social Democratic Party. The Social Democratic Party's main points include social welfare, wherein the SPD proposes increased support for low-income families and vulnerable populations. They also intend to introduce tax reforms. The SPD advocates for tax policies aimed at reducing income inequality. Furthermore, they also strive for infrastructure investment, which means they plan to invest in public infrastructure to boost economic development. In terms of migration policies, the SPD supports a balanced approach to migration. They advocate for skilled migration, which means they encourage the immigration of skilled workers to address labor shortages. They also further integration programs and focus on programs that facilitate the integration of migrants into German society. Lastly, they aim for better asylum procedures and advocate for fair and efficient asylum processes, ensuring protection for those fleeing persecution. Filipino professionals, particularly in sectors like healthcare and technology, may find favorable opportunities under SPD policies that promote skilled migration. The emphasis on integration programs could also assist newcomers in adapting to life in Germany. Let's now talk about Alliance 90, also known as the Greens. The Greens' main campaign points include environmental sustainability, wherein priority will be given to investments in renewable energy and green technologies. Social equity, which advocates for policies that promote social justice and reduce disparities. And finally, digital innovation, wherein they support initiatives to advance digital infrastructure and innovation. The Greens adopt a humanitarian and inclusive approach to migration. They support open asylum policies, which means they aim at accommodating asylum seekers and providing humanitarian aid. They also support diversity promotion, which means they encourage cultural diversity and the inclusion of migrants in society. Furthermore, they aim to provide legal pathways, which means they advocate for creating legal avenues for migration to prevent dangerous journeys by foreign nationals to Germany. The Greens' policies could offer a welcoming environment for Filipino migrants, emphasizing inclusivity and support for newcomers. Their advocacy for legal migration pathways may simplify the process for those seeking to move to Germany. Now let's go to the Free Democratic Party, or FDP. The FDP's main campaign points are: 1. Economic liberalism, which means they promote free market policies and deregulation to foster entrepreneurship. 2. Digital transformation, wherein they emphasize the importance of advancing digital infrastructure. And lastly, education reform, which includes advocating for the modernization of the education system to meet future challenges. The FDP supports a merit-based immigration system. They are proposing a points-based system, which is an immigration system that assesses applicants based on skills, language proficiency, and other factors. They aim at attracting talent, which means they intend to attract highly skilled professionals to enhance Germany's competitiveness. They also wish to further streamline processes. In other words, they seek to simplify and expedite visa and work permit procedures. Highly skilled Filipino workers may benefit from the FDP's merit-based approach, especially if they possess qualifications that align with Germany's labor market needs. The focus on streamlined processes could make migration procedures more efficient. Finally, let's go to the AfD, or Alternative for Germany Party. The AfD's main campaign points include: national sovereignty, which refers to emphasizing the importance of national identity and sovereignty. They are also staunch EU skeptics and critique the European Union and advocates for reforms or potential withdrawal. They also intend to promote strict immigration control, which means they are calling for stringent measures to limit immigration. The AfD adopts a restrictive stance on immigration. They are promoting an end to mass immigration, which means they seek to halt what it describes as mass immigration to Germany. They stand for cultural assimilation, and demand that immigrants assimilate into German culture and society. They also call for the deportation of criminals, and advocate for the deportation of foreign-born individuals who commit crimes. The AfD's restrictive policies could pose challenges for Filipino migrants, particularly those without high-demand skills or those seeking asylum. The party's emphasis on cultural assimilation and stricter immigration controls could mean higher barriers for entry and stricter residency requirements, making it more difficult for new Filipino migrants to settle in Germany. However, skilled workers in critical industries might still find opportunities, provided they meet strict integration criteria. So how does all of this affect Filipino migrants? If you count as a skilled worker, meaning you are a professional working in healthcare, engineering, IT and so forth, the SPD, Greens, FDP should be favorable towards you, as these parties support skilled migration and easier work permit processes. Less favorable would be CDU, CSU, because while they still allow skilled migration, they emphasize stricter rules. The most restrictive would be AfD, as their policies make migration harder for non-EU workers. If you are aiming for family reunification or are seeking asylum, the Greens and SPD have policies supportive of your goals, as these parties advocate for humane asylum and family reunification policies. More restrictive would be CDU, CSU and FDP, because though they allow family migration, they also intend to impose stricter criteria. Mostly opposed would be AfD, which advocates for a ban on mass immigration and strict limits on family reunification. If you are already in Germany and hopes to better integrate or become a citizen, you will best find support with the Greens and the SPD, as they promote language support, social programs, and faster pathways to permanent residency. A neutral party would be FDP, as it focuses on merit-based migration but supports skilled migrants staying long-term. A stricter party would be CDU, CSU, as it demands clearer integration efforts from migrants. The hardest stance would be from AfD, which pushes for cultural assimilation and stricter residency rules. To summarize it all, if you are a skilled Filipino worker, meaning a nurse, engineer, IT specialist, or skilled tradesperson, the SPD, Greens, and FDP will likely offer the best opportunities, as they support skilled migration. If you are planning to migrate with family, the Greens and SPD offer the most family-friendly policies. If you seek asylum or refugee status, the Greens are the most welcoming, while the CDU, CSU and AfD are the strictest. If migration laws tighten, under CDU, CSU or AfD influence, Filipino migrants may need higher qualifications and stronger German language skills to qualify for residence, work, or studies in Germany. And that's it for the election primer brought to you by your education partner Traum Deutsch PH Language Learning Center. Check out our sources or comment below. Which party will you be voting for and why? Check out our page and follow us for more info on German language and culture. Visit our website at www.traumdeutschph.com to learn more about us and our courses.